2. Let's go ahead and call a meeting to order for Commissioners Court for Polk County for July 30th, 2024. This is a special session at the Polk County Regional Health Building, Suite A. So at this time, we don't have any room for prayer, but shall we stand and do the pledges?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, if you have not already done so, please turn off or mute all your cell phones and any other devices. Item 1A, portion of the budget workshop. Consider approval to publish the proposed increase in salaries, allowances, and other expenses of elected county and precinct officers. At this time, we do have a hearing set up that will probably be on Monday to give us enough time to reach other people or reach whoever is going to be on the committee. The notice of proposed increases was sent out to everybody, and we received a grievance from all 4 of our JPs, along with a letter of explanation on how they would like to proceed, and that is included in there. So we cannot post these notices, but we have not actually voted on it yet because we have not posted them. So until we post them, then we cannot, we won't post them until we have voted for the actual ones. We voted to send the information to all the elected officials. So I would like to give one explanation. The explanation of travel, it was that the commissioners, because they utilize their vehicles 4 weeks out of the month, right? And they used them all day, every day. That was the logic for what the travel would look like. So we cannot decrease any of the information that was sent out to other elected officials at this time. And the grievance hearing will be in process. And so at this time, we will need to table this, and then we will vote on what the actual proposed salaries will be at a later date.
Motion to table.
Motion to table. Commissioner Purvis, second Commissioner Dubus. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Very well. Item B, receive the tax assessor collectors 2024-2025 no new revenue and voter approval tax rate calculations and verification of the collection rate. Tatum and Carrie Miller worked together to complete the tax rate calculation workshop, which is included for your review. Tatum, do you want to come say anything, or just let her no? Okay. So the calculated voter approval rate is currently at 0.6092 per 100 valuation, which is what we have based this budget that we're giving you today on. If you will recall, we did not have the full calculations, and so we have been calculating it based on the previous tax rate. But now we have a full tax rate, and that is what this budget is based upon. So we included the tax calculation. A worksheet was included in your packet for your review. So at this time, I would like to just accept the calculation and verification from Tatum White. Any objections to accepting the report or the information? Any questions? Nope. Okay, item 1C, discuss the FY 2025 budget development. So again, we'll review the budget document that we have, and this time it has updated tax-based information. So if you will get your packet. So one of the requests we received only received. I'll tell you what, let's go through this because it includes all the taxes as well. So if you'll turn to your first page, which is the net taxable values. If you look at the top of the page, nothing has changed. We had a drop in the mineral, minus 11.83. There were changes in the total ad valorem tax revenues, and that went to $30,742,144, which is up from $29,938,674, which was in the previous one. Again, so the proposed current ad valorem is $30,092,144. We're still with a 96% collection rate, which brings you down to the breakdowns. So those created some minor changes in your revenue from freeze value, or not subject to freeze, all the different collections. And so it brings you down to the bottom portion of the page. And when you go to the 0.609200 for the budget, which is a voter approval rate, then we went through and adjusted all that. We tried to slide as much as we could into road and bridge, because at this point in time, we do not have another option for the ad valorem rate. We cannot implement any emergency measures because we've had multiple delays with this budget, so we cannot do any emergency measures on the tax valuation or to cover for the damages from Beryl or from the water. So we don't have that available to us anymore. So we pushed as much as we could into road and bridge. So now you can see the different amounts. You have your debt service fund rate, which the amount has not changed, just the percentage that it takes up. And then in the general fund rate, we included the capital projections in that, depending on what the court decides to do. And then in road and bridge, we went from 25.8% to 26.1490. So that takes you to the next page, and it gives you the breakdown. And so with our current tax rate, it is approximately over $1 million that will be added to road and bridge, increase from the previous year, instead of the $695,228 that was originally calculated based on the old tax rate. Any questions on any of that? Okay, go to your next page. I think I'm backwards in mine. Let's see what your next one is. Okay, that's the last one. Okay, I'm trying to see where I am.
Oh, you done, okay, I thought you done.
Okay, so once again, this is our debt. And again, our tax notes, the 2018 tax notes will roll off this year. We still have a 2028 projection for the jail expansion to roll off and for the 2020 tax notes to roll off. And so that gives you again a breakdown of our debt, in which case nothing has changed, it's just reiteration of the same information. And then you have the same thing with road and bridge. It's the same debt that had before. Okay, if you turn to the next page, this is our capital purchase projections. And this is one of the areas that we need to make a decision. So what we have done with the additional monies from the tax rate is we took that and rolled it into the budget. So if the court wishes to do that, then we will not issue tax notes for this year. If you choose to do that. If you look at the other pages, you will see that the interest rates have been slowly climbing, right? The 2018 tax notes were 2.787, excuse me, and the 2019 tax notes were 2.3, as opposed to some of our other tax notes that were a lot lower. So that's one of the decisions I need the court to make. If you wish to have no reimbursement resolution and leave these capital projections in the departments to where we will pay for them, they still would have to request permission from the court to purchase these items, but we would not issue tax notes. So we would not issue any debt.
Sounds good to me.
You wanna bring that as a motion? We'll
Make a
jump right on
motion.
in.
I'll second it. Motion, we don't make-
Commissioner
we don't-
Purvis,
And I'll second.
Commissioner Robertson, any discussion or questions? Very well, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. There's one thing off our list here. Okay, so that was one of the things that we were going to do with the revenue. Now, if you go ahead and go to the first portion of your, which is still in C, budget development. If you go to the first portion of the budget, page one of 126, the very first one. So now, what you're going to see at the very top, you have the current taxes, and then we have two proposals now. Page one. Right after the last page you looked at. Is that it? Yeah.
That's it.
We have two proposals. So what we did is, we've looked at everything that was sent to us, and we tried making some of the percentages work. So one of the requests that we received was, instead of making it the discretionary raises for employees, instead of making it discretionary raises, then place a value on it. So let me show you kind of what we did, what happened with SB 22. So this is what happened with SB 22. So we had two different elected officials use two different approaches to it. So we had SB 22 funds, which was used, all of it was used for, at the sheriff's office, for raises, okay, for personnel. And this court agreed to it, which is fine. But this is what happened. So with the sheriff, in the sheriff's office, you had an increase, for SB 22 employees, you had an increase of not quite $4,000 on the average, okay, average. Everybody with me? Okay, so that was the average increase, slightly less than that. The jail had approximately the same thing. They had a little closer across the board to 5,000. And then, and the DA's average employee had an increase of not quite 8. Okay, average. Well, this is part of what happened. This is all SB 22. Now, other employees that are 100s, that are in our 100 pay scale, that were in those departments, okay, the average employee at the jail and the sheriff's office got basically nothing in terms of an increase. They stayed even, okay? So this is the 200 levels, which we have only in the DA's office and only in the sheriff's office. And these are the 100 levels. So It was a wash for the 100s at the sheriff's office, it was a wash for the 100s in the jail. Now, in all fairness to the jail, there's only one employee in there that's not a 200 level, okay? But look what happened down here with the DA's office. Instead of having a wash, the DA's office had almost a $4,000 increase to their 100 level employees. Why? Because the DA backfilled in positions with discretionary funds to lift the whole ship. Proposal number 1 is basically this right here. Okay? Proposal number 2 utilizes basically the same amount of money, but it assigns it a value. So what the sheriff did, which is just a different way of looking at it, what the sheriff did is he came in and he gave increases to all the SB 22 eligible individuals, right, with SB 22 money. And it was anywhere from $3,400 to $5,800, jail and sheriff combined, right? So this right here, they got $3,400 to $5,800 with the greater amount going to the jail, because that was the goal, right, was to lift the jail more so than the sheriff. We were more in line with the sheriff. Now, so if you take these increases and you're utilizing SB 22 monies for this, you still have individuals at the sheriff's office that are in the 100 level pay group. So what he did was assign a value to it. So that's the other option that we have. If we don't want to do the 3-step or the 3% discretionary, okay, if we don't want to do that, then the other thing we did is we went with a proposal of assigning a value. And we said, okay, let's raise the whole salary schedule for the 100 levels. Let's raise the whole salary schedule $3,000 for the 100 levels, and for the 200 levels, let's raise it $1,400. So everybody goes up, but especially what goes up percentage-wise are those people that are the most underpaid.
So the one, watch it there.
I'm just gonna dance with the flag while I'm
Yeah,
here.
the 100 employee,
The 100
that's
level
the only one,
employees
right, one
in the
employee
jail,
that's in the 100?
in the jail, but
In the
not in
jail.
the sheriff.
Pardon?
In the sheriff's
In the
office.
sheriff's office, right, yeah.
No. In the jail, there's only one 100.
And they got no pay raise out of that SB 22?
No, because they weren't eligible.
What was the last thing that you said? I didn't understand right before you.
Right before I dance with the
Yeah,
flag.
right before that, I didn't understand that. Can you repeat that?
Sure. What I'm saying is that there's 2 ways of doing this,
Okay.
okay? We have got to raise the bottom, regardless of where they are, right? We have 100 level employees at the sheriff's office and at the jail and everywhere else. Correct? Okay, so we have 100 level employees there. So if you don't want to go with giving the sheriff or other department heads the flexibility of assigning, right, who gets what, if you don't want to do that, and you don't want to do this 3-step increase, then let's assign them a value. Let's say everybody on this pay group is going to be lifted this X amount. And everybody on this pay group is gonna get lifted X amount as well. Which is basically what the sheriff did, right? He said, everybody that's in this category gets this much money, everybody that's in this category gets this much money.
Well, the sheriff's department and jail is the only one got 200.
Correct? Correct.
No, the DA's office.
And the DA's office. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be glad to explain how Senate Bill 22 can't pay level 100 employees.
Yeah.
So I had to do a county supplement, and I can explain how I did it, because that's the only way I could get it to work.
No,
Yeah,
I'm,
Same sheriff.
but I mean, so all the other county employees get to 3,000.
yeah, all the 100 level, which does include people in the sheriff's office. All the 100 level. So,
And will it include the 100s in the DA's office?
it'll include all the 100.
Anybody that's a 100.
Every
Every
other county
100.
employee that we have, we get
Correct.
3,000.
Yes. Okay, now, so now let me show you. Okay, all of you received these memos. They were unsolicited memos. I did not solicit them. From county employees that work for us right now. So, that made me start thinking about, okay, what happens with these county employees? What do we need to do? And that's part of where I came up with the 3,000. So, the other thing you have is this piece of information right here. This is your Medicaid and your federal poverty level. So I took our salary schedule. You have a proposed salary schedule in front of you as well. And this includes, since the only one that we would have to lift the salary schedule for is this one right here. Okay? We don't have to lift the salary schedule if we go with the 3% three-step. But we do have to lift the whole salary schedule if we go with a proposal of just a blank rate. So, at this time, we have, if you will look over here on the Medicaid list, what this tells you, if you go down to step number 4, that is the Medicaid eligibility for a household of 4. Okay, so 1 mom, 3 children, 2 adults, 2 children, however you want to look at it. So that point is, the breakoff point is 41,496. So what I did was I took and looked at how many employees, and I don't know which departments they are in. I looked to see how many of our employees fall at or below that 41,496. So if you look on the next column over, we have approximately 128 employees that fall in that category. That's a lot of people, folks. So, we developed a salary schedule for you to look at as well. So if you look at our current salary schedule and the proposed one, you have the proposed one in front of you. And so this is putting in a $3,000 adjustment for the 100 pay group and a $1,400 for the 200 level pay groups. So if you look at that, step 105, which step 105, which is our lowest pay group, would go to 28,543. That's the first one. However, by adding that $3,000 in across the board, we would create some relief all the way down to step 1, to the description 114 and into 115. 115 is currently at 41,606. So that would take them to 44,606. So where they currently are right now, they are on the edge of that for Medicaid.
$115, you gonna add 3 to that, or that's already added on
This is a proposed
there? Proposed,
pay
got it,
schedule.
okay.
So all you'd have to do is say minus 3,000, and
Right.
that'll tell you where they are. The other thing on here too is if you look on free lunches, the free lunch qualifiers. Now, I will tell you this, the majority of our school districts give free or reduced lunch to everybody. They don't even try anymore. We do have one or two that still get income information and still go through the process, but the majority of ours do not. But that tells you what the income has to be for free or reduced lunches also. And we gave you the total number of employees and what the impact would be. And you can see that the bulk, the absolute bulk is right there in the middle. If you go down to the 52 to 58, then that's 251 of our employees that fall in that bracket. So basically, proposal number 1 is the 3-step and then the 3% discretionary. And that's currently what we have proposed, and that's basically what the DA has in her budget. And then proposal number 2 is just going to a fixed value and doing the 3,000 and the 1,400. And then that would require us changing salary schedules. Proposal number 1, we would waive the policy on step increases, because we currently have a policy that says you can only do a 2-step increase within a 12-month period. Pay grade 100s is completely paid by taxpayer dollars. And then the 200 scales, with the exception of the DA has SB 22. And then all the 200 pay scales are funded by SB 22 and additional taxpayer dollars. We put additional taxpayer dollars, because I know that's a big question, why put additional taxpayer dollars in there? We put additional taxpayer dollars in there because in the event that all of those positions should become fully funded, then the money would be available for those positions. And furthermore, that way, should there be some changes in staffing, we would not have to ever return any SB 22 monies. We're trying to hold on to those SB 22 monies. Okay, I gave you the comments. You also have, this is a repeat of information that you all had received before about the SB 22. And so basically, if we go with the, blank rate, okay, the proposal number 2, if you go with a fixed value, then what would happen, the total amount on level 2, the level 2 employees would be from 4,800 to 7,200 increase overall. And then the increase for the step 100 people would be $3,000. Any questions so far? We've already been through the first proposal, so no need to hammer on that one.
Which one is proposal what? Number what?
This is proposal number 2.
2.
Proposal number 2 would be lifting the entire pay scale.
I just wanna make sure.
Now, if we lift the entire pay scale, okay, if we lift it completely, then you would be lifting all of the 100s, and then by putting the additional 1,400, I mean, we'd be lifting everybody in the 200s, but the impact would be felt mostly on 211 and 213. Because that would get them over the 40,000 mark. Any questions about that? Okay. Got missing something I meant to show you, but it's not coming to me. Okay. Let's go through this then. So that's page 1. That's just letting you know that we changed the revenue to reflect the tax rate correctly. And then giving you the two proposals, because we put both proposals on here. Okay, we put proposal 1 and proposal 2 for every department on here. So everybody's personnel, I guess I should say, has shifted in one direction or the other. Not a lot, because it ends up being pretty close to the same amount of money. Okay, other than that, changes. Well, I was just gonna use the county clerk as an example, but you can see, when you look at the personnel, at the salaries, you're gonna see the difference in how it would work. Proposal number 1 or proposal number 2. Okay, if you go to page 39 of 126. How many murder trials do we have right now?
Open. We have at least 8 that happened this year so far, and I have the ones from last year, so I probably have 15 or 16 murder cases that have to be tried. And I have probably 10 to 15 child aggravated sexual assaults that are major cases.
Okay,
So I have 30 major
Okay.
ones at least.
So part of what we did is, with the additional funds, we took the capital trial expenses for just this budget year up to 200,000. Originally, it was 50,000. I don't know what a capital trial murder is gonna cost us. I don't think any of us do until we get there.
So far, on the McDougal case, they have asked for $60,000 just for doctor's expenses because they have to prove that he's competent, and that's step 1, and supposedly there's 3 sets of doctors we have to go through, and they needed 60 for step 1. We had to do a deposition, that's gonna be another $5,000 that we have to pay for.
No, we know we're gonna be short.
Yeah.
We're gonna be short.
Based
But-
on what I've contacted San Jacinto County that has the same issue, that they have a capital case going, they're at $500,000 already.
Okay, so we know that that's gonna have to increase, but for now, that's where we have put some of the additional monies in. So that's one of the,
And that doesn't include your cost, that's just out-of-pocket cost.
so that's one of the changes on the budget from what we gave you all previously. Okay, and then, the only other change is, the SB 22 on the constables. But that's a wash, because that's all SB 22 funds. And we did get a response from the comptroller that when Kevin Berman goes into office, then he does become eligible for SB 22 monies. Okay, if you'll go to the very back, the last 2 pages. This is kind of a breakdown So if you look at the very top of the page, where we gave you the history, so you had the 108 category, okay, which in FY 2018 was at 24,176. The recommendation from the compensation study was for them to get a 5.4% increase. And so then you go all the way across, and there you have your two proposals on what those people in that category, which is one of the groups that we're targeting. Your telecommunications officer, which is a 111, before the compensation study, they were making 26,623. The compensation study recommended a 10.81% increase, average increase. And so there you have the amount for the two proposals. So it's steadily increased, and you'll see what the proposals would be. Corrections officers, which is your 110, 111, 211, 112, so those are all your SB 22. For the compensation study, pre-compensation study, they were making 26,623, same as the telecommunications operator. They were recommended for a 5.53% increase. Then you take in FY 2024, SB 22, and then what the proposals would do. Of course, in this case, that would be part of the 3%, right, for proposal 1. So we don't know what the sheriff would decide to do. That would be up to the sheriff. On proposal 2, then you're assigning a value and leaving it at that. Your 112s, which is your office managers, before the study, they were receiving $30,814. The percent change recommended was 3.04%. And so then you slide across, and we've done the same thing. There's your proposal number 1 and proposal number 2. Your 115 categories, which is several people, but includes your environmental enforcement officer, was at 35,659 before the compensation study. Less than 1% was recommended, and take them on. The environmental enforcement officer does not qualify for SB 22 monies, and so then that's where your proposals would take you. Your deputy sheriffs, which are 115, 215 now. Before the pre-compensation study, they were making 35,659. They were recommended for less than 1% by the compensation study. And so then, again, proposal number 1, we couldn't put an amount in there because that would be at the discretion of the sheriff. But then you have the rest, what proposal number 2 would do across the board. Then here's the same graph that you've seen before. And this is basically how it would level out to one degree or another. Are there any questions on that? Okay. So now, I included the same information basically that we had for the groups of staff members, of employees. And so here's a historical information. Basically, you have your FY 2015, all the salaries for all the elected officials listed. Now that does include travel. On the JPs, the total was 46,898, and of that, 33,227 was salary, and 13,671 was travel. And then you can see the same history that goes across in terms of every elected official. along with the current proposal that the JPs have offered, which would be for every elected official to make $65,000 regardless, and $10,000 for travel. So there's that breakdown also for you to look at. And then that was what you have, again, same thing as the compensation study, you have the graphs illustrating what would occur. Any questions on that one?
It's upside down. I looked at it right as I did it.
Okay. Any questions? So again, remember that this is not for distribution, it's a preliminary budget for everybody to look at in consideration. Having said that, we are going to have to make a decision on the 13th. So one of the things that we need to think about is if we need to have another meeting, another workshop for this. Okay, moving along. 1D, consider any and all necessary action regarding public hearing on the proposed tax rate. The public hearing for the proposed tax rate must be held during a regular scheduled meeting. You can't have a special meeting to give them the tax rate, and not more than 25 days after the budget is filed. There's all kinds of deadlines in there that we have to meet, and so that puts us at August the 27th. So on August the 27th at 10 a.m., we will have our hearing for the tax rate. So,
On the 27th or the 13th?
13.
It was revised, it's gonna have to be 27.
okay, hold on. Okay, that's for the proposed budget, sorry, never mind, the 13th, sorry.
For the public hearing?
What's that?
Sorry, the public hearing?
The public hearing, that is on the 27th, isn't it? Okay, I have it right. On August the 27th is the public hearing. On August 13th,
Oh, just-
you back on your agenda?
I got two different ones.
Oh, okay. On August the 13th, I did official, after that. Which then moves the public hearing, has to be after the proposed budget, X amount of days before, after, therefores, and wherefores. And so that public hearing will be on the 27th, August 27th. So, the proposed rate does not exceed the voter approval rate. And so the rate will be adopted on August the 27th at 10 a.m. So at this time, I need a motion for us to take a record vote to place the proposal to adopt the rate that is in this current budget and move forward. Which will be 0.6095 1200.
To adopt that? So
Yes,
moved.
sir. We have a motion, Commissioner Cassidy. Do I have a second? Second, Commissioner Purvis. All in favor, say aye. Okay, now by roll call, Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy,
Aye.
Commissioner Robertson,
Aye.
Commissioner Dudos, and myself, aye. Okay, that motion carries. Okay, item number 2, consider approval of road and bridge equipment lease purchase through interlocal purchasing system, TIPS, thereby satisfying the competitive bidding requirements pursuant to East Texas Max Sales LLC quotations for. This is an annually occurring item that the county auditor prepares for road and bridge commissioners. 2A, consider approval of road and bridge equipment lease purchase through interlocal purchasing systems, satisfying the bidding requirement for lease of purchase of 8 new 2025 Mack granite cab and chassis with M-drive dump ox body units at $172,059 each, with a 13-month trade allowance of $157,059 each unit, assuming each trade-in unit meets all trade terms to be paid from Road and Bridge Capital Leases Fund. This is y'all's, guys.
Approved.
I'll second that.
Commissioner Dubus, Commissioner
Can
Robertson.
I ask Debbie something?
Absolutely.
Messed up, Lewis ain't here.
That's not my fault.
Next year, can we have some different quotes from different
I think so.
dealers on these things? I mean, I'm running, I have having trouble with them, we gotta come all the way to Longview to get anything done to them. If we could get somebody local, more local,
I can ask.
you know,
Well, not
if
just
they-
that,
if they'll
we
be
can ask for
interested,
total.
if they'll be interested in bidding on them.
Yes, sir.
I had run Longview like 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you need a part, you can't just go get it. And, you know, I mean, but the guys in Lufkin, if they're not busy, they'll work with you, the ones in Cleveland, but still, if we can get them closer, it'd be a lot better, I would think.
I made a note of it.
Thank you, ma'am.
So we have a motion and a second to accept these for now.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, B, 2B, trade buyback of 8 2024 Mack GR64F trucks at $126,000 each for units currently leased by each road and bridge precinct, assuming each trade-in meets all trade terms.
So, but,
I'll second.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Robertson, all in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item C, approve resolution authorizing execution of an agreement with Cadence Equipment Finance, a division of Cadence Bank, related to the estimated July 2024 lease purchase of road and bridge equipment, 8 new 2025 Mack granite cab and chassis units equipped with ox body dump bed, to include trade-in of 8 2024 units, and authorizing the county judge to execute said agreement on behalf of the county. Need a motion.
Motion.
Commissioner Robertson?
Second.
Commissioner Dubus? We still need a roll call. Okay, Commissioner Purvis?
aye.
Commissioner Cassidy? Commissioner Robertson?
Aye.
Commissioner Dubus? Very well, motion carries. Okay, item number 3, discuss and consider any and all necessary action to select a salary grievance committee. We received a grievance letter from the 4 JPs, which has been added to your packet for your review. A copy of the guidance that's provided by TAC for selecting a salary grievance committee is also included for your review, and holding the required hearing is also included. The court must select a 9-member committee, and there are 2 options for appointing the committee members. With either choice, I serve as the chair of the committee and do not have a vote. Okay, so the first option is to select to have the sheriff, the tax assessor collector, the treasurer, the county clerk, the district attorney, and 3 public members from the grand jury. That's option A. The The second option is to select all 9 members from the grand jury. So what is your pleasure?
Doesn't matter to me, I guess, you get. I don't know, like.
Nine members of the grand jury, or who, what the other choice?
It's on your,
Sheriff, Texas
on your
Assessor,
packet,
County Clerk, District Clerk, District Clerk,
plus 3 members from the
plus 3
grand jury.
members of the grand jury.
And with the grand jury
I would
members.
say that would be the best one, because you get the public involved, and plus you have people that work for the county too. And you know, what I mean, know how the county business works. Then you have 3 outside people that come in with open mind.
And with the grand jury, we would select alternates as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm willing to hear what y'all got, you know, anybody got a different idea. Lay it
I
on.
concur with you. I mean, I think that's good. You have a variety here. and so That's just my opinion also.
So do y'all want to bring that as a motion in a second?
Yes, man, I will.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Robertson. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Nope. Oh, no. First you get to pick. You can start with, they said everybody on the court has to help select, not
I got
me.
2.
I'm exempt.
What is this?
Announce that name, please.
Tom Taylor?
Regina Prince,
We're gonna have to pick 5 or 6. You're not exempt.
Yeah. You have Lane Bird.
Melissa Long,
Okay, do we want 6 total? Okay, so the first 3 are the ones that will be on the committee. You're the first alternate. Here comes the second alternate. David Bennett. Shall we do 3 alternates, just in case?
Ken?
Okay. And Carol Perry. Okay. Leave those out so we'll have the information for the class.
Not last year, not from last year. 2023.
Okay.
On the grand jury last year. Previous year.
I need to know if we need to schedule the grievance committee hearing will be on Monday the 5th. And so that's not a big, issue in terms of the budget, but I do need to know if you all would like to have another workshop on the 6th, August the 6th. Or can we all agree what to do about the personnel on the 13th? This courtroom is booked for open enrollment.
Oh, 7 and 8.
Yes. So we can do the 6th, or we can do the 9th. We can do the 12th, if you're comfortable doing that.
For what?
Have another workshop, if you need another workshop. Do we need another workshop, I guess is the first question.
Judge,
I don't.
one of those people y'all called out was just indicted on a felony case. So you may call one more alternate.
Be happy to. Was it an alternate?
Well, no, it was one of the first ones.
Okay, then we slide up whoever Dubose pulled.
So then you're gonna pull the second one, that's full.
Okay, well then we'll slide up the one Dubus.
We'll just rerun criminal histories to make certain they're all still qualified.
Hey, these are all grand jury.
Well, that doesn't always mean that they're still eligible.
Benny Simpson.
Okay.
Do you need another workshop? Thank you all.
I don't.
You're fine.
Motion
Okay,
to adjourn.
Second.
very well. Commissioner Purvis, Commissioner Cassidy. What time is it, Madam Clerk?
2:55.
Thank you, everybody.